Chapter 15, 24th Street and North Avenue. Maxine drove down North Avenue and parked on 24th Street by the grocery. She noticed the doorway by the side of the grocery that the taxi driver had said Nanette was standing by. She decided to investigate. Maxine went through the doorway and up the stairs. At the top of the stairs, there was just an empty room. Disappointed, she came back down. But as she came out of the doorway, she saw two women walking toward her. They stopped and looked at Maxine suspiciously. "Can you help me?" Maxine asked. "I'm looking for a place that Lavelle told me about." The women looked at each other and then back at Maxine. "How do you know Lavelle?" one asked. "I'm her doctor at Mercy Hospital." The women looked at each other. "Lavelle isn't here," one said. "I know. She went to Alabama. Lavelle told me to come to 24th Street and North Avenue. She didn't say which house," Maxine answered. One woman pointed to the grocery. "It's up those stairs. Nobody's there now. Wait a few days." "I don't want to wait," answered Maxine. "There's a phone number you can call. I have the phone number at home. Call me tomorrow, afternoon." She gave Maxine her telephone number. Maxine hurried to her car to write it down. By the time Maxine got back to Grabowski's house, her eyes were heavy with sleep. Grabowski's car was parked in the garage. She opened the kitchen door slowly. Grabowski was asleep on the sofa. When she woke the next morning, Grabowski had left for work. A note lay under the coffee pot. Grabowski wrote that he would phone at noon. If she didn't answer, he would find her and arrest her for her own safety. At 12 p.m., Maxine phoned the woman she met on 24th and North Avenue the night before. She wanted to get the phone number the woman had told her about. The phone rang 10 times. No answer. Maxine got some coffee and sat down to think. First, Charlie had said that he brought Nanette back to North Avenue. That meant that Charlie saw Nanette after Aaron did. But who saw Nanette after Charlie? Maxine was also worried about Virginia and wanted to talk to her about her research. Virginia had to stop lying to the drug company and the university. She could ruin herself. She called Virginia's office, but there was no answer. Before she could call Virginia at home, Grabowski phoned. "Where did you go last night?" he demanded. "I went to the university to talk to Charlie. I found out some very important information. Charlie saw Nanette after Aaron did. Charlie drove Nanette from her home back to North Avenue. Now we know that Aaron didn't kill Nanette." "Why didn't Charlie tell us this before?" Grabowski asked. "We didn't ask the right question. Charlie didn't know we were talking about Sunday night." Grabowski sighed. "Good work, Maxine. But please stop driving around in the middle of the night. You've already been attacked. I want you to stay at my house today until you drive to Mercy Hospital. I'll come to the ER tonight and follow you home. Don't leave the ER without me." Maxine hung up the phone. She wanted to talk to Virginia. She could drive to Virginia's house on her way to Mercy Hospital. She called Virginia at home. Virginia answered right away. "Come over, Maxine," she said. "I need to talk to you." Virginia lived in a large brick house with a beautiful garden. A stone wall around the garden had pots of flowers on it. Her house was only a few blocks from Maxine's house. Maxine rang the doorbell, but Virginia did not come to the door. "Virginia!" Maxine called, but there was no answer. She walked around the house. She knocked on the back door. "Virginia!" she shouted, but there was no answer. Maxine went to the garage to look for Virginia's car. The garage was near the back door. Virginia's car was in the garage with the engine running. There was a strong smell of gasoline. "Virginia?" Maxine shouted. "Help! Somebody call an ambulance!" she screamed in the direction of the street. She put a handkerchief over her mouth and nose and ran into the garage. Behind her, a shadow moved. She turned to see who it was. Then something hit her on the head. Everything went black. When she woke up, she was in an ambulance. There was another person lying next to her in the ambulance. Virginia. Virginia had also been hit on the head. The ambulance driver told Maxine that the neighbors had heard her screams. The neighbors had called the ambulance and the police. When they got to Mercy Hospital ER, Virginia and Maxine were sent to surgery. She got out of surgery 2 hours later. Grabowski was waiting for her. "I told you to go straight to work, Maxine." Grabowski's face was pale. "Why didn't you ask me to come with you to Virginia's house?" "I wanted to talk to Virginia about her research," Maxine said. "She wouldn't have talked about it with a police officer sitting there." "Where is Virginia?" "Home. She had a cut on the head, but it wasn't serious." "I have to talk to her," said Maxine. Grabowski shook his head. "A crazy person is following you. Promise me you will stay here until I take you home." Grabowski went out in the hall. He met Hank coming out of the elevator. Hank looked worried. "How's Maxine?" he asked. "What happened to her?" "She was attacked again, this time at Virginia's house." "Virginia was also attacked," answered Grabowski. "It's because of this stupid investigation," said Hank. "I told Maxine to stop. I told her she would get in trouble." "Where have you been?" demanded Grabowski. "I tried to reach you at 1 p.m. today. Your receptionist said you had just left. She didn't know where you were. Your cell phone was turned off." Hank looked nervous. "Aaron called me. We got some sandwiches and ate them in a park near my office. Aaron wanted to talk about Nanette. Aaron thought I didn't know that Nanette had been going to North Avenue. He thought I didn't know that he was having an affair with her. But I did know. I paid a private detective to follow her." Hank's pager beeped. He looked at his watch. "I'm busy. Talk to me later." Grabowski held up his hand. "An hour ago I arrested Aaron for the murder of Nanette." "No," said Hank. "You've made a mistake." "We found out that Aaron's car was parked 3 blocks from Virginia's house at lunchtime. He had time to hit Virginia on the head, turn on the car engine, and then hit Maxine before he met you for lunch."